death, the inevitable end that awaits all living beings, has long been a subject of fascination, fear, and contemplation. Among the various philosophical lenses through which death has been examined, existentialism offers profound insights into the nature of mortality, the meaning of life, and the individual's confrontation with the inevitability of their own demise. Existential philosophy, emerging prominently in the 19th and 20th centuries, is characterized by its focus on individual existence, freedom, and the subjective experience of life and death. This narrative delves into the existential perspectives on death, exploring the ideas of key existential thinkers and how they grapple with the profound reality of mortality. Existentialism, as a philosophical movement, emphasizes individual experience and the inherent meaning, or lack thereof, in life. Central to existential thought is the concept of being, particularly as it pertains to human existence. Existentialists argue that existence precedes essence, meaning that humans first exist and then define themselves through their actions and choices. This perspective starkly contrasts with essentialist views, which hold that a predefined essence or purpose determines one's existence. Death, within this framework, is not merely an end, but a fundamental aspect of human existence that shapes how individuals live their lives. The awareness of death brings into sharp relief the finitude of life and the urgency of authentic living. Existentialists argue that confronting death allows individuals to break free from societal norms and illusions, thereby leading a more genuine and meaningful existence. Søren Kierkegaard, often considered the father of existentialism, approached the subject of death through the lens of Christian faith and individual responsibility. For Kierkegaard, the awareness of death leads to a profound existential anxiety, which he termed angst. This anxiety is not merely fear of dying, but a deeper, more existential dread rooted in the recognition of one's mortality and the subsequent responsibility to live authentically. Kierkegaard posited that the confrontation with death necessitates a leap of faith into religious belief. He argued that only through faith can individuals find solace and meaning in the face of death. This leap of faith is an act of embracing the unknown and accepting the limitations of human understanding. For Kierkegaard, death is a catalyst for existential reflection and a call to live a life grounded in faith and personal authenticity. Friedrich Nietzsche, another pivotal figure in existential philosophy, offered a contrasting perspective on death. Nietzsche rejected the notion of an afterlife and the comfort of religious faith, advocating instead for the affirmation of life in its entirety. He introduced the concept of eternal recurrence, a thought experiment where one must imagine living their life repeatedly, in exactly the same way, for eternity. This idea serves as a test of one's ability to embrace life fully, with all its joys and sufferings. Nietzsche saw the acceptance of death as integral to living authentically. He believed that the recognition of mortality should inspire individuals to create their own values and meaning, rather than relying on external authorities or metaphysical beliefs. The affirmation of life, in Nietzsche's view, involves embracing the temporality and finitude of existence, thereby living with greater intensity and purpose. Martin Heidegger, a towering figure in existential philosophy, delved deeply into the concept of death in his seminal work Being and Time. Heidegger introduced the term being toward death to describe the unique relationship humans have with their own mortality. Unlike other beings, humans possess an awareness of their impending death, which fundamentally shapes their existence. For Heidegger, death is not merely an event that occurs at the end of life, but a constant presence that influences how individuals live. He argued that authentic existence involves confronting and embracing one's own finitude. This confrontation with death strips away the superficialities of everyday life, revealing the true nature of being. Heidegger's concept of being toward death emphasizes that living authentically requires acknowledging the inevitability of death and allowing this awareness to inform one's choices and actions. Jean-Paul Sartre, a leading figure in existentialism, explored the implications of mortality in the context of freedom and responsibility. Sartre famously declared that existence precedes essence, asserting that individuals are free to create their own meaning and purpose in life. This radical freedom, however, comes with the burden of responsibility for one's actions and choices. Sartre viewed death as the ultimate limit of human freedom. The inevitability of death underscores the finite nature of life, intensifying the urgency of living authentically. Sartre argued that individuals must confront the nothingness that death represents and find meaning within their own existence. This confrontation with mortality is a call to embrace one's freedom and live with intentionality and purpose. Albert Camus, a prominent existentialist and absurdist philosopher, addressed the theme of death through the lens of absurdity. In his seminal work The Myth of Sisyphus, Camus explored the idea that life is inherently meaningless, and the human quest for meaning is ultimately futile. The absurd arises from the clash between the human desire for significance and the indifferent, meaningless universe. Camus argued that the recognition of life's absurdity should not lead to despair but to a defiant affirmation of life. He famously declared that one must imagine Sisyphus happy, suggesting that individuals can find contentment and meaning through their own experiences and actions, even in the face of an absurd existence. For Camus, the awareness of death highlights the absurdity of life but also provides an opportunity to live more fully and authentically. A recurring theme in existential philosophy is the concept of angst or existential anxiety. This anxiety arises from the individual's confrontation with the inherent uncertainties and finitude of existence. The awareness of death amplifies this anxiety, forcing individuals to grapple with the profound questions of meaning, purpose, and authenticity. Existentialists argue that confronting this anxiety is essential for authentic living. Authenticity involves embracing one's freedom and responsibility, acknowledging the inevitability of death, and living in accordance with one's true values and desires. The existential perspective suggests that only by facing the reality of mortality can individuals break free from societal conventions and live genuinely meaningful lives. The existential perspective on death challenges traditional notions of meaning and purpose. Existentialists reject the idea that life has an inherent or predetermined meaning. Instead, they argue that individuals must create their own meaning through their choices, actions, and experiences. Death, in this context, serves as a reminder of the urgency of this task. The awareness of death compels individuals to reflect on what truly matters to them and to live in accordance with their authentic values. This process of self-reflection and meaning-making is at the heart of existential philosophy. By confronting mortality, individuals can transcend superficial concerns and focus on what gives their lives genuine significance. While existentialism emphasizes individual existence and responsibility, it also acknowledges the importance of relationships and community. The awareness of death can deepen connections with others, as it underscores the shared human experience of mortality. Existentialists argue that authentic relationships are grounded in mutual recognition of each other's freedom and individuality. In the face of death, relationships take on added significance. The presence of others can provide comfort and support, while also challenging individuals to live more authentically. Existentialists believe that genuine connections with others enrich the experience of life and offer a source of meaning in the face of mortality. The existential perspectives on death continue to resonate in contemporary thought, influencing fields such as psychology, literature, and the arts. The existential approach to death has informed therapeutic practices that emphasize personal responsibility, authentic living, and the confrontation of existential anxiety. In literature and the arts, existential themes of mortality, freedom, and meaning continue to inspire creative exploration and expression. The existentialist emphasis on individual experience and authenticity remains relevant in today's world, where traditional sources of meaning and authority are often questioned. The existential perspective encourages individuals to confront the reality of death, embrace their freedom, and create meaningful lives in the face of uncertainty and finitude. The existential perspectives on death offer profound insights into the nature of mortality and its impact on human existence. From Kierkegaard's leap of faith to Nietzsche's affirmation of life, Heidegger's being toward death, Sartre's emphasis on freedom and responsibility, and Camus' exploration of absurdity, existentialists have grappled with the profound reality of death and its implications for authentic living. Confronting death, according to existential philosophy, is not a cause for despair but an opportunity for reflection, growth, and authentic living. By acknowledging the inevitability of death, individuals can break free from societal norms, embrace their freedom, and create meaningful lives grounded in their own values and experiences. In this way, the existential perspective on death serves as a powerful reminder of the urgency and potential of human existence.